Hello, my dear students. Welcome back to Learn English with Priyanka. Today's video is a must watch video for all ISC 2025 students preparing for Macbeth. I am going to discuss the most expected scenes, yes, the most expected questions, and even the RTC passages that are absolutely finally going to come. I am pretty sure about it. If you want to score top marks, stay tuned till the end because I'll also give you expert tips on how to write perfect answers with the right keywords. Yes, so let's get started. I know this was a nightmare. Macbeth is generally a nightmare for my students. But with 15 years of teaching experience, I can make this thing very easy for you people. So let's begin with the most expected scene from Act 3, 4, and 5 because these are the ones that are coming in your board exams, obviously. So, talking about Act 3. In Act 3, Scene 1, where Macbeth plans Banquo's murder. To be thus is nothing but to be safely thus. Yes, Act 3, Scene 1. Act 3, Scene 3, Banquo is murdered, but Fleance escapes. This is also a very important scene. Then talking about Act 3, Scene 4, where Banquo's ghost is seen by Macbeth. Yes, Macbeth sees Banquo's ghost. Now, talking about Act 4. So, in Act 4, Scene 1, where Macbeth meets the witches again. Double, double toil and trouble. Yes. Act 4, Scene 3 is also very important. Malcolm tests Macduff's loyalty. Very, very important scene. So, here Malcolm tests Macduff's loyalty. So, yes, this scene is also very important. Generally, paper will try to test you from the sects which are quite expected this year because it is absolutely a new play for you people and in fact for the boards also. So probably it is quite expected that paper won't be very tough. Quite expected questions will come. So if you go through the scenes which I am telling you thoroughly, believe me, paper will come from that only. Many a times in my coaching, whenever I tell my students, prepare the scene, prepare the speech, believe me, almost 95% of the paper comes from that scene itself, from that speech itself. So I am not asking you to like just leave the rest of the scenes. You have to go through each and every line, but the scenes which I am mentioning, but the speeches which I'll mention, go through them thoroughly. Do memorize each and every keyword which I'll tell you in detail in the rest part of the video also. Try not to go through only paraphrase. This is the biggest mistake. Go through the original text of the Shakespeare. Yes, if you want to score full marks, and believe me, in literature it is very simple to score 100 on 100. Whatever marks are cut, generally students lose in grammar section. 100 on 100 आप बहुत easily ला सकते हो literature में. Literature is not tough at all if you follow certain rules. Moving on to Act 5. In Act 5, Scene 1, where Lady Macbeth's sleepwalking scene has been mentioned, out to damn spot, this speech is very important. Yes, Act 5, Scene 5, Macbeth's tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow speech is also quite important. Act 5, Scene 8, Macbeth versus Macduff battle, and finally Macbeth's death is also of utmost importance. So these scenes covers the most crucial themes: ambition, fate, supernatural, guilt, downfall. You have to revise them thoroughly. There is no option to this. You have to revise them thoroughly. Now talking about most expected questions. So now let's talk about the most expected questions in the exams. If you get a question from Macbeth, chances are it will be from one of these. Believe me. So one is character-based question. This is for sure. For example, how does Shakespeare portray Macbeth's transformation from a brave warrior to a ruthless tyrant? Very important question. Next is Lady Macbeth's influence on Macbeth. Discuss with reference to key scenes. Third one is Banquo versus Macbeth. That means compare their ambition and fate in the play. Next is how does guilt affect both Macbeth and Lady Macbeth? This is character based question. Now theme based questions. Discuss the theme of ambition in Macbeth with reference to Act 3. Right? So, how does Shakespeare, next question, how does Shakespeare use the supernaturals to drive the plot forward? Very important and very expected questions. Next is role of fate and free will in Macbeth's downfall. You have to discuss this. This question is also quite important because this question has been asked in many schools. So during pre-board exams and all. So this question is quite expected. Do go through this question. This is pretty important. Now talking about scene based questions. So in this, the first question could be analyze the significance of banquet scene in Act 3, Scene 4. Next is what role does the witch's prophecy play in Macbeth's choice? Next is how does Lady Macbeth's sleepwalking scene reflect her guilt? Very important and very expected question. So these are direct exam style questions. Yes. So practice them well. You need to practice them. You need to write the answers. Still you have a few days left. So write them. Most expected RTC question, if I'll talk about RTC, reference to context, then probably. So RTC questions, these are very high scoring if answered correctly. RTC में तो आप full marks easily ला सकते हो. So here are most expected RTC passages which you must revise. This is your last chance to score full marks, so don't forget. In Act 3, to be thus is nothing but to be safely thus. Next is thou canst not say I did it. Never shake thy gory locks at me. Remember Banquo tells Macbeth. Yes. In Act 4, double, double toil and trouble. The very firstling of my heart shall be the firstling of my hands. So yes, these are few important RTCs. In Act 5, I can say this sleepwalking speech, out damn spot, out. And then Macbeth's speech, tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in this pretty pace. So this is pretty important. See, I've given you two RTC questions from each act, right? I am not asking, do not go through the other scenes, just forget them. No. Go through the ones which I'm telling you in detail. Go through them thinking that, okay, if this question will come, how will I answer? So it's pretty obvious that one of the questions will definitely come out of these 6 questions. So try to go through these. At least you'll be able to secure one part of your paper. So go through these sections thoroughly. Make sure you revise who is speaking. What is the context, meaning, and its importance in the play. Yes, you need to know the speech, that what is where, who's speaking this, and why and when, who all were present there, why and when the speech has been spoken. You have to remember that. So before we end, here are some golden tips to write high scoring answers. I know this is basically a nightmare. I can understand well, but I don't know how to write. So the first point is use keywords. Words like ambition, fate, supernatural, guilt, tragic, flaw should be included. One tip I would like to give you, follow the PEE method. That means point, evidence and explanation. Always support your point with a quote or example. Write concise RTCs. Mention the speaker, context, meaning, significance in at least not more than 8 to 10 lines. One thing which is very, very important, that is your time management. Do not spend more than 15 minutes on one answer. You will tend to lose time at the end. And one thing very important, presentation does matter. Write clearly, underline quotes, maintain paragraph structure. I have often seen students writing the entire thing without leaving a line or without making paragraphs. You tend to lose marks. Don't do that. Try to write your answer in such a way that everything is quite obvious. One thing very important I would like to suggest everyone, whenever you are ending your answer, leave at least 4 to 5 lines so that once you revise, and if you somehow remember some extra point, you get enough space. See, you are not bound to leave only 1 line or 2 line. You have sufficient pages in your answer booklets, and you can even take extra, right? So do not be economical or thinking, oh, what the examiner will think. No, just leave 4 to 5 lines in each answer when you move on to the next answer, so that whenever by chance some point occurs to you, you are not out of space. You can easily write your answer neatly. Mark all the answers correctly, like question number 1 A, question number 2 B. Write that clearly. By chance last year, when I was checking a copy, I saw that students, what mistake they were doing. They had written the correct answer, but their marking was wrong. So as a result, they lost marks. Yes, you tend to lose marks if your the numbers, the like series is wrongly marked. You have to keep that in mind. And believe me, if you follow these tricks, your Macbeth answers will be perfect. Minimum 8 quotes should be there in long answers. 8 quotes should be there. So that's it for today's video. I hope this helps you prepare for your ISC exam. If you found this helpful, do not forget to like, share and subscribe to your own channel, that is Learn English with Priyanka. Let me know in the comments which topic you want me to cover next. Bye-bye.